My video for May the 31st, 2020 is video number 3471. The title is Planned Panic for Deep State Agenda. I'm getting information about the insanity happening in Minneapolis. Attorney Timothy D. Japeth wrote, quote, "Now is the time to get mad. Now is the time to approach your leaders and ask them how much before they stand up and fight for us. Now I see a black man who I played college football against allegedly killed on camera 30 years later. But guess what? They messed up. That's not the same guy. I remember this guy, and he died a few years ago right here in Corpus Christi. I was his lawyer." End quote. Again, folks, the deep state players like George Soros and his ilk have a very dark agenda, one that does not benefit humanity. How many other panic events will they pull off before the swamp gets drained? They do not have any fear of God or of justice, since they have inserted lies into our religions, and the legal system and media have been almost totally corrupted with lies. People are waking up, but will it be too little, too late? One report I got yesterday says it will uh, all be clear by the end of Trump's next 4 years. The can keeps getting kicked further down the road. I have the report right here from attorney Timothy Japeth. And I, of course, didn't put the whole thing in the blurb. It's too long. So I'm going to actually read you the parts that I left out. He added, "I saw the vacant tents set up around the hospitals for the sick that never came. I've seen that myself." I'm adding. Okay. "I watched as businesses closed to a hoax. I saw bodies removed from homes because they were too afraid to go to the hospital because of quarantine. I saw our leaders shred the Constitution that elected them." The truth of the matter is, constitutions don't elect anybody, but that's another point. And now I'm going on. "Now I saw a black man who I played college football against killed on camera 30 years later. But guess what? They messed up. That's not the same guy. I remember this guy, and he died a few years ago right here in Corpus Christi. I was his lawyer. Dumbasses can't even pick a good fake dead guy. Back when he played, it was Texas A&I. It was the original junior college for kids who couldn't get into major schools. This guy and Johnny Bailey played together. I played for Abilene Christian University as a walk-on. I was not good and didn't last a few cuts each year. My freshman year, we played them, and Abilene Johnny Bailey single-handedly beat us on two toss sweeps and a punt return. Sadly, he abruptly passed after a stellar year with the Chicago Bears. However, the name of the man they are using who died, he died right here in Corpus Christi 3 years ago. He did play for Texas A&I, and he did live on the streets here, and he did die here. However, he didn't die in Minnesota. To top it off, I was his court-appointed guardian ad litem before he passed at Spohn Memorial. Before he died, me and him talked about the game with Johnny Bailey and Abilene Christian and Texas A&I in 1989. So what I'm telling you is that the man they claim who died in Minneapolis at the hands of the police did not die there. That man died in Corpus Christi, Texas, in Christus Spohn Memorial ICU with me as his guardian ad litem, and he is buried at the Paupers Cemetery in Flower Bluff. His sister flew down here from Minnesota saying she was going to give him a proper burial, but she never came back officially. Though since then, that body could have been removed. Nobody keeps much of an account of the cemetery anyhow. So now what are we going to do about this? I keep asking God the same thing. What are you going to do about this? We live on a planet of lies that have been getting away with their criminal conspiracy. And yes, they conspire against humanity, against whatever God there is or isn't. I'm not exactly sure of that, because certainly my prayers don't get answered. And I try my best to be thankful for the things that I can be thankful for the abilities that I still have, for the mind that I can still think, even though sometimes it seems to fragment at certain points. But in any case, I have most of my natural abilities, despite the little bit of arthritis in my hands and the numbness in my feet. But the lies just keep going on and on and on. The hopium, I keep taking it because the alternative is to give up all hope. And some of my friends have done that. Some have already committed suicide. But this story, again, of what's happening in Minneapolis and other riots in other places are based on things that are not true. And it's being financed by the same people, if they're people, that want to control the world and want to eliminate the majority of the human population. They put it in granite, my friends. They put it in granite on the Georgia Guidestones. How many times do I have to keep repeating that same thing? Reduce the world's population to a manageable 500 million people. They want to kill most of us, folks. That's their agenda. And they have lied, they have murdered, they have stolen from all of us. People say, where are they getting the money for this, whatever you call the package that Trump sent out, extra money? And I'm still waiting for my second. I thought I was going to get 2 checks. Well, the second one hasn't come yet, and I'm not sure that it's going to. There were supposed to be 2, and I was planning to get some work done on my car with the second one, but it's not here yet, and it's a month, over a month now later than when the other check came. So I don't know what's going on. I've looked at promises from the Bible. I've looked at promises in current events that our politicians have made. Nothing seems to happen according to plan. Now, I know draining the swamp is no easy task. I know the deep state has been deeply entrenched in our system. And I know it's going to take a lot to turn everything around. And I'm rooting for the swamp to be drained. I'm rooting for Donald Trump to succeed. And I'd like to see George Soros and people like that brought down. I'd like to see a lot of changes that would benefit humanity happen. But unless God empowers us, how can it happen? We have to have our codons turned back on. And when I say we, I mean the people that want to live truthfully, honestly, and want to benefit others instead of controlling and enslaving everyone else. There's a dark agenda, and that is the deep state agenda. And it doesn't include you and me. What is God's agenda? What is God's plan? What is the mission to redeem us that has to happen in our lifetimes, not in some heaven in the sweet by and by? Anyway, thank you folks for listening, and namaste.